when I started making music, or I didn't play guitar at the time, and I was making these demos, and they were interesting. They had bits in them, but they were mostly kind of unfocused. And there was a band in a recording studio where I used to work called Big Audio Dynamite. It was Mick Jones's second band from, Mick Jones from The Clash. It was his second band. And there was a drummer from Big Audio Dynamite. I think his name was Greg. And he knew that I was trying to get my act together, as and he'd heard me sing, I think, and he made me a cassette tape. And on that tape, I'll never forget, was Sly Stone, a lot of the Fresh album, Joni Mitchell, some CSN. And it was like that scene in Almost Famous, where Kate Hudson, where she's having a row with her parents and she's leaving home to go and join the band, to go on tour with the band. And they're saying, you're going to be a waste of time, a waste of space. And she shouts to her little brother, who I guess is Cameron Crowe, and she goes, look under the bed, it'll set you free. And he goes under the bed and he finds her albums.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Well, this guy that made this tape, Greg from Big Audio Dynamite, when he made that tape for me, I listened to it, and with those aforementioned artists on there, and it became so obvious why I couldn't get a record deal. And I went, wow! It was the first time I understood what it was going to take, and that I wasn't quite there yet. And I didn't write a lick of music for a year. All I did was get my hands on everything by those artists. I got my hands on every Hendrix album, every Hendrix recording. I got, Zep 1, 2, and 3. I deep dived into Joni Mitchell. I mean, I knew about Joni before, but I really deep dived into her. And I got heavily into CSN, and I started understanding harmonic structure. And at the end of that year, I went, okay, well, one of the things that these artists that I've been so inspired by all have in common is that they play an instrument. They're not just singers or songwriters, they actually play an instrument. And I figured, well, what would be the best thing for me to learn? And I couldn't, I was a bit of a wanderer and I couldn't put a piano on my back. So I picked up the guitar in the studio where I was working. Like, bands would come in at night, or during the day, and when they would leave at night, I go pick up their guitars, and I'm left-handed, so I couldn't go restringing their guitars. I just played it upside down. And I remember the guy who owned the studio, he said to me, if you play the E shape, right, and the A shape, and if you just know those two shapes and you move them up and down the neck, you can pretty much play the basis of any song. You could write any song. So I went, but we're never gonna survive. We get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little. So it's basically the E and the A shape. So I did that, and that was the first song after that year that I wrote on guitar. And then I put this bit. A man decides after 70 years what he goes out for. And I wrote Crazy in about 25 minutes. It all kind of fell out. And that was I knew I had one. When I wrote that, I went, okay, I got one. I knew, because it was just, it sounded different from all the other songs, aside from Kiss from a Rose, but it sounded different from all of the crappy demos that I was making. It didn't sound like me trying to do a song like, any of the artists that I'd heard before, whatever was in the current top 10. It didn't sound like any of them. For the first time, it sounded like Seal. realize after 70 years that what he goes there for is to unlock the door. But those around him, they criticize and sleep. And through a fractal on a breaking wall, I see you, my friend, and touch your face again. Miracles will happen as we trip. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we have a little crazy. Yellow people walking through my head. One of them's got a gun to shoot the other one, and yet together they were friends at school. Oh, if I were there when we first took the pill, then baby, miracles will happen as we speak. Oh, but we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we have a little crazy. Survive unless you get a little bit crazy. No, we'll never survive unless you get a little bit in a sky full of people. People, love, in a heaven of people, yeah. In a sky full of people, there's only someone to fly. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love.